Today, I will be breaking down the top 5 linebackers in this year's draft class, so let's go ahead and talk about them. Hey, it's Cole here. If you like these videos, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel for daily shorts and NFL content just like this. Let's talk about DeMarvin Overshown, my fifth linebacker in this year's NFL draft. Let's go ahead and look at his stats as I pull that up. 4 sacks, and he had 49 solo tackles this past year. Pretty solid. Let's talk about why I do love DeMarvin Overshown. One, versatile at a safety and linebacker position. You kind of see that with some of these guys in this draft. They're very versatile. They're not as a prototypical size linebacker, but that doesn't mean they're bad. Obviously, very athletic. And another thing I like about him is he's an aggressive player in a good way. He likes to go ahead and make sure that you know that the other player knows that he just got hit by DeMarvin Overshown. And I absolutely love that. He's trying to get to the backfield. He's trying to get to the guy and do anything he can to get to the ball carrier and go ahead and tackle him, which I absolutely love from DeMarvin Overshown. And still somewhat new to that linebacker off-ball position, but I think it's pretty solid. Tackle consistency is a weakness of mine. Same thing with that, like, aggressiveness. Sometimes he can just be too aggressive, and sometimes he misses a tackle and he doesn't wrap up consistently, and that's something I would like to see. And then lighter frame. Again, he's safety versatile. I think he converted from a safety, so I think that's kind of why he has a little bit of a lighter frame, but I still think he could be pretty good in the NFL, and definitely one of my favorite players in this draft. So let's go ahead and talk about player number 4. Talking about Daiyan Henley from Washington State. I mean, it's a weaker draft class, and this dude very well could have been higher on this list, but I like the guys ahead of him just a little bit better. But I think he's very good on run defense. I think he can get past the offensive lineman, past whoever's trying to block him, and get to the running back. He's very good at finding those holes and attacking and getting to the backfield, which I really do like. Explosiveness kind of goes into the run defense. He's very explosive to go ahead and make a play. Very explosive to, when the ball snapped, to go ahead and get to his guy, get to the running back, whoever he's guarding, and that's what I really do love about Daiyan Henley. And then he's a rangy guy. Again, he also has safety, linebacker versatility. He is kind of a lighter frame, lighter size, but he's absolutely rangy. He can play safety, he can play linebacker, he can kind of go everywhere on the field and coverage, which is very, very good from Daiyan Henley. Now, talking about his weaknesses, kind of like I said, size is definitely one of the things I would like to see. I guess you can't just get it better, but one of the reasons why he's kind of more lower on my list, and he's still clearly new to position. He converted from a wide receiver, which definitely helps. Coverages. It's always nice to have a guy that has played both sides of the ball. That definitely ups him in my rankings, but still clearly new to the position, it feels like, and I think he can somewhat get lost. But overall, I love Daiyan Henley. He'll probably go day 2. He should go day 2, and I would absolutely love to see him on what team drafts him, because he's going to be a fun player in the NFL. So let's go ahead into linebacker number 3. My linebacker number 3 is Jack Campbell from Iowa. Let's take a look at his stats, which he had 59 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, and 2 interceptions. Pretty solid stat line. Let's talk about why I like him. He's a prototypical linebacker size. His size and frame is very good. He's 6'5", which is very insane when you take a look at how athletic this guy is. You look at him at the combine, you look at him on tape. This guy is an athletic player for his size and his frame. So he definitely a big fan of that. He's also very good at processing. He's a good analyzer. He's the quarterback of the defense. That's what linebackers are, and he's very, very good at being the quarterback of the defense. He can see things coming, and it's very good to see from Jack Campbell. So let's take a look at some of his weaknesses. He's not really twitchy. I think that lots of this does because of his size. Obviously 6'5" is always nice, I think, but sometimes it's going to limit you at places, and it limits him in his twitchiness and also his man coverage a little bit. He's a solid coverage guy. I like him in zone. Maybe not man. So maybe if a team's not, runs man, linebacker runs man a lot, maybe you don't draft him. But I do like Jack Campbell a lot. And so let's go ahead and head into my number 2 linebacker in this draft. My number 2 linebacker in this draft is Trenton Simpson from Clemson. Looking at his stats, 41 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. So I like Trenton Simpson a lot. He definitely had a very good chance to possibly be a number 1 linebacker in this draft, but he had a poor 2022. It's one of my weaknesses. But let's look at the strengths first. He's an all-around athlete. He's a tweener, safety size, linebacker size. Kind of reminds me of Isaiah Simmons coming out of college. I maybe like no, I liked Isaiah Simmons a lot better, but definitely around that type of player comp, stylistic comp. He's very versatile, like lots of these guys here in my top 5. He can play safety, he can play linebacker, and he's definitely, again, an all-around athlete. Now, looking at the weaknesses, he's not a true linebacker. I don't see him necessarily as a true linebacker, and that kind of made one of the reasons why I didn't put him as number 1, but I still like him as an athlete, and I still think he can play linebacker. He's just overall not going to be that Mike linebacker that maybe some teams are looking for. And his frame, same thing with a lot of the other guys, his frame is a thing, and I think it's definitely a common point with lots of these linebackers is that the frame, the size, isn't a true linebacker size, and that's kind of why they're placed where they're placed, and obviously that's part of why I placed them where I placed them, but again, a poor 2022, that happened with like all the Clemson defenders, like Miles Murphy, Brian Brzee, him, had a poor 2022 season, and so was it a coincidence? Is he not as good as maybe 2021 said? I don't know, but that's kind of where I have Trenton Simpson. I think he can be a good all-around defensive playmaker on any team. So let's go ahead and go to my number 1 linebacker in this year's draft. Let's talk about my number 1 linebacker in this year's draft, and that is Drew Sanders from Arkansas. Let me read off his stats: 40 solo tackles, 9.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. This dude, I think, could be absolutely special. He has great pursuit. He can go ahead and has great leverage or run lane, pursuit lanes, and I absolutely love that from him. Sideline to sideline type of guy. He can go, again, from sideline to sideline, get to the ball carrier who's going on to the outside, and then also can play off the edge. He was an edge rusher, I believe, at Alabama, and then he went over to Arkansas and then became an off-ball linebacker, which, I mean, is absolutely amazing with how far he's came, and his upside at off-ball linebacker definitely shows, and you can get so much more out of him as he is still somewhat inexperienced. But that if you can get that out of him, he can be a special player. And you can play him kind of like a Micah Parsons. He's not Micah Parsons, obviously, but you can play him off the edge. You can play him off ball. And, just let him be that versatile player on your defense. And I absolutely love that from Drew Sanders. Some of the weaknesses, I'd like to see him a little stronger. The strength is a little bit of a worry. But for the most part, I like this guy, and obviously lacks off-ball linebacker experience. Kind of touched on that a little more, but I definitely think there's a lot of potential with this guy. He could go first round, and I mean, I wouldn't fault you for taking him late first round. He's not going like in the top 20. I could see a team like maybe the Bills, any of these teams that kind of need linebacker help. So I absolutely love Drew Sanders, and that's going to be my top 5 linebackers in this year's NFL draft. Go ahead and leave a comment what you say. What's your top 5? And subscribe and like for more NFL content just like this in daily shorts. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.